I have said this many, many times, that a man doesn't have anything that a woman doesn't have, because he gets everything he got from her. Well, Diva, he got a penis. You mean that uterus that's outside of his vessel? That's a uterus. Well, Diva, he got scrotum. You mean the ovaries that are outside his vessel? They're simply ovaries that are sitting outside of his vessel. That prostate is a dysfunctional womb. And again, because a lot of his genes inside of his chromosome has been removed, his breasts are dysfunctional. He can't give milk. But he got sperm, Diva. Okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this, what we call meiosis. And once again, don't believe what I say. Go and look this up, because science tells you and shows you what happens during the meiosis phase. In male, it's called the spermatogenesis. In females, it's called oogenesis. And what are we talking about here? All right, you got two parent cells, and let's understand what these are, also termed the mother cell. It doesn't matter if it's in a male or a female, it's the mother cell. Now they want to call it a parent cell because they don't want to let on to the fact that both of these cells right here, they got all X's in them. All X's, and not just X's. These are giants. These are what they call stem cells. This is what they were fighting over when they was like, well, you know, if the woman abort the fetus, where do stem cells go? We want to be able to keep the stem cells. Why? Because they giants. They got a lot of power. But we ain't getting into that tonight. But those are mother cells, all females. And then they break down into two sister cells. In him and her, sister cells. And then they break down into 4 daughter cells. Now this process is unnatural, this meiosis phase. Why is it unnatural? Because in this phase, the mitochondria is asleep. She's asleep. And this ain't natural for her to be asleep. The same way it's not natural for you, woman, to be asleep. But she's asleep. Somebody found a way to put her in a coma. These are daughter cells. Now, notice they don't say son cells, nephew cells, uncle cells, brother cells. No, they daughters, they female, they all X's. Everything is X in him. He is an X. And one of his X chromosomes has been degraded to a Y, but everything else is an X. He better be X, otherwise he's going to be infertile. So now let's take a look at this with her. Because these are polar bodies. Go look it up, women. Go and look it up. They want to tell you this is junk DNA. But pay attention, because what happens is when these break down to the daughter cells, one of them is a larger ovum. The other one are polar bodies. They have the same number of genes and chromosomes in it as a sperm does. And you got to understand what a sperm is. All the sperm is, these are germs right here. Let's be clear on these. These are bacteria, germs that have eaten away at the polar bodies. They are bacteria that have eaten away at the polar bodies within him, and then they take on the DNA, so that now these sperm, these germs, these bacteria, they go search out the ovum. Now I need you to understand, women, why you get yeast infections when you have sperm up in you, because your body is fighting. It's like, oh, these not natural. What? Kill them. Space invaders. Semen's coming. Oh, what are they doing? They're fighting. And let's be clear on this. The body does not fight anything that is natural to it. They told you sex was natural. They told you you need a man because you ain't going to be able to give birth. Meanwhile, you sitting here with everything he got. pay attention to this now. Because I'm not saying don't have relations or don't. I'm not telling you none of that. I'm just giving you the facts. You take the facts and you do what you need to do, but tap into source first. Tap into source first before you let anything else tap into you, because you are the one holding the Stargate. Pay attention. So now you got this situation here where you've got all of these polar bodies over here. And it could be said, because I asked you a question, why wouldn't they tell you about who you are as a woman and what your true abilities are? Because why you never heard about a polar body? Go and look it up. Why have you never heard about a polar body? They want to tell you it's junk DNA. When it's bigger than the sperm itself, and it's holding everything that the sperm could possibly hold. So let's understand this. Let's just say, they say, well, yeah, you can, as a woman, have a child without a man, but you need to go to a sperm bank. And you go to the sperm bank to get this DNA so that you can procreate. Meanwhile, why wouldn't they tell you that you had everything within you to procreate on your own? Why would they not tell you that? Somebody answer me that. Why? When I'm sitting here with everything I need to procreate on my own, if you love me as a woman, why wouldn't you tell me that? Why wouldn't you tell me about the polar body? Why I didn't learn about this in biology class when I was in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. College, y'all never told me about a polar body. You don't need a sperm from him, because when you get that polar body, then you have everything you need to create another being. And here's the big kicker. When you know these things, then certain beings become obsolete. It's a threat, because then you no longer need them. And I'm not dissing the men. I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm telling you what the facts are. Women, you was conquered. You can take that how you want to. And just like with the Albion, I love my Albion friends, love them. But melanated people was conquered by them. Let's make it clear. Melanated people was conquered by other melanated people. Let's make that clear. Because they started it. These so-called Europeans who were originally melanated, they started it. What's my point of telling you this? When a people are conquered, then their history is rewritten, and they are purposely made to be ignorant of who they are. Why? So that they can stay subjugated. And if you're not willing to study who you are, ma'am, melanated people, then you will stay subjugated. And if that's what you want, then that's okay. But for the rest of the women who really are talking about cleaning up this mess, then you got to know who you are. You got to know what really happened. And you got to understand that somebody is hiding from you what your true powers are. I just told you. Don't believe me? Go and look it up for yourself.